I'm here today at Pursuit OCR in Etobicoke, which is kind of like an obstacle course plus fitness center. And I'm here with Will. Hey, Will, nice to see you again.
Good to see you, man.
Let's start with, were you up last night till 3 and did you watch the Jays game at all?
No, I didn't watch the Jays game at all. I know profoundly little about sports.
Okay.
Regardless of my involvement with like Humber's sports programs, I actually know very little about sports.
I see.
No, we're building some new stuff at Pursuit, and kind of the only opportunity to do that is when we're closed.
Mhm.
So yeah, we started work at 9 o'clock last night and finished at 8:30 this morning. So,
I see.
yeah.
Okay. Well, let's get into it right away.
Yeah, absolutely.
So before Pursuit, I know that I've heard from you that you've done quite a bit of entrepreneurship, like different areas of industries and different areas of work in general. So take me back and take me through that. How did you end up in sport and rec, and how are you so well connected with Humber?
Yeah, so it's a good question. My involvement in sport and rec kind of happened, honestly, just serendipitously. So I had never really had the intent of running something that was so sport focused, not being a sports guy myself. My activities largely regulated around martial arts growing up.
Okay.
So that's some sport, but like it was a very solo sort of thing. So I was in Kung Fu for like 30 years.
Oh, wow.
But I also, I was a personal trainer at one point. I was a bouncer at one point. I was a massage therapist at one point. So all of those things kind of coalesced into having sort of connections to people in sport. A lot of my clients were in sport. They were dancers or professional hockey players, professional athletes, things like that. So it was always in the periphery and sort of circling the drain for me. And then I had a small massage therapy clinic with personal training facility, and the building that we were housed in was going to get sold, and we had to find a new location. So because of that, my realtor took me to a number of different places, and we popped in on a place that was supposed to be about the same size as my clinic currently was. But what happened, just by pure coincidence, that the guy that was taking us around his building showed up drunk.
Oh, wow.
Like fall down drunk, like could barely string words together. And he took us to the wrong unit, and he showed us a unit that was 3 or 4 times bigger than what I had asked to see. But it was really cool. Like it was like this really, really interesting space. So we left there, and I was like, it's not what I was looking for at all. I just wanted to take my existing business and migrate it somewhere else. But I couldn't get it out of my head that that space was so interesting and so dynamic. And I just sort of jumped in, and I asked my realtor, I'm like, can you go ahead and put an offer in and just see if they'll accept it? Just see what it is. And he did, and they did. And suddenly I was left with this opportunity. And then I had to kind of figure out what I was going to do with the opportunity. I asked for something, I got it. And then I was like, oh no, I'm not ready for this. So luckily, we had this space, and I had some connections with Mountain Dew, the company, and Doritos. I knew some people through their teams. They found out that I had this new space, and they said, can we get in there for 4 or 5 months to do a new activation, and we'll pay you for the space? And I was like, you know what? Honestly, go ahead and do it.
Okay.
Because I don't know what I'm doing with it yet.
I guess that's the part where those networking things really come in handy.
Oh man, did it ever? It saved my butt, because I had 4 months to plan, get some finances in order, figure things out. And what it ended up being was I ended up dusting off a project I had written in high school.
Oh, wow.
So Pursuit OCR was actually my first business plan I ever wrote. It was a high school project in my entrepreneurship class.
So as you mentioned, like Pursuit is like a very kind of unique space. It's, as I mentioned before, it's an obstacle course, plus you can also do like physical fitness stuff as well. So what kind of experience you're actually providing to your customers, like not just physically, but mentally, like when they walk in, like what do you want to provide to them?
So our ethos has always been the adage of bring back recess. So, when we were kids, when you go to play as a child, whatever you're about that day or that week, whether it's a new show or a new character, a comic book or a sports figure, that like envelops your whole world. And when you go to play, you lose yourself and disappear into that moment. But as we get to be adults, we become so self-conscious of what's around us.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So self-conscious. Everything becomes a little bit more performative, and we have a little bit more anxiety about these things. So what I wanted to do always was create a space where you could come in with your friends or a date or even a work group. And over the course of activity, lose yourself into that play again, where the space provides you with activities, but it doesn't dictate the activities. You know, a lot of recreation spaces prescribe you a very specific agenda of things that you have to complete as tasks, where those goals are like point driven or they're competitive. And the problem with that is that it keeps you in that mindset of, I have work to do.
Yeah.
Right. So what I wanted to do is create a space where you can come in and there's a host of things and you can do them in any order you want. There's enough prescription that you don't feel lost, but it allows your brain to actually relax into the moment so you can actually be a little bit of a kid again.
Were there any stage building this up or just figuring this out, that what were your ups and downs, or like any particular thing you felt like, okay, maybe not this, but I still want to keep doing this?
Yeah, so I had tons of failures, right? Tons of failures, past businesses that have failed, you know, past goals and ventures that didn't pan out the way I wanted to. Like, you know, learning is an endless string of failure, right? That's just sort of how it goes.
Yeah.
If you're not failing, you're probably not trying, right?
Sure.
So it's one of those things, like this business is no different from that. The thing that's unique about this project more than any other thing I've done is that there is no roadmap for it, right? I decided to do something that was greater than the sum of its parts. So there's lots of similar businesses out there to draw little bits from. But at the end of the day, we're wholly unique in kind of what we offer. And that in itself is its own obstacle, because I can't just call up someone in my network and be like, how'd you solve the problem with your ball pit? Right? Or like, hey, how do you guys deal with, like, you know, customers that smash the trikes into each other? We have that.
Yeah.
They come to me with those questions and I'm like, here's how I'm currently fixing that. So a lot of the time it's having to be so malleable as to sometimes not have shape and definition, which in itself can be anxiety inducing.
Okay.
Right? You know, if someone says, do a project, you know, you told me earlier you were into animation. If someone said, hey, do a project, and you're like, what are the parameters? They're like, none. But if you do it wrong, you fail. You're like, oh no, like that's too much of no control, right? As opposed to them saying, hey, it needs to be 40 minutes in length. I need it to be in this color palette. This is the type of character look. We want it to look like Studio Ghibli. And you're like, oh, lots to work with there.
Yeah.
Lots to work with there. But when they come at you and just sort of say, do it, but we are grading you on this, it can be panic inducing.
Yeah.
The problem with having a space like this and being the only one in control, like from design to execution, is that I'm responsible for all of it all the way through, whether that's the leadership of my team, decisions we make financially, design challenges, things like that. So at the end of the day, for me, it's a constant roadmap of discovery and figuring out where I can potentially go wrong and reducing that.
I see.
Similar to many sports, similar to martial arts. In martial arts, the better you get, you don't become a better fighter. You learn how many ways there are to lose in a moment. Same with any type of sport. You play soccer. It's not that you become a better soccer player, it's that you become faster at calculating where things can go wrong. Business is exactly the same.
I see.
You don't necessarily become a better businessman. What you become is you're able to faster navigate and negotiate things as you see them impending. So you're like, that's a better option than that option. That's a better option than that option. And things are just flying at you and you're sort of like swat, catch, right? You can see what's going to be better, or at least give you more opportunity. Sometimes it's just about giving yourself a little bit of time to make the smarter decision. That's all. Like it's like anything else learned.
And you always have to like keep in mind that you're always learning from your past mistakes as well.
Like in real time, in real time. Like you make a mistake, and when you're the owner, sometimes you know it immediately. Like the reaction is elastic.
Well, speaking of managing, I know that you deal with lots of different people, every kind of people, lots of different personalities, especially with your staff as well. We got to hear from one of your staff on leadership day. That was pretty cool as well.
That was really nice of them.
Yeah, that was really good. Great. Yeah. So take me through your leadership style. Like, how are you with your staff, or just not as a manager, but like just in general, like how do you want to manage your staff, or do you manage your staff?
Like, it would be too trite to say my staff are my family, but at the end of the day, I spend more time with my staff and my team than I do with anybody else. You know, I'm here all the time. I stay in the building like 3 to 4 nights a week. I don't go home.
Oh, I see.
Right? So the only other person I see more than this is my fiance, right? And even then, half the time it's like we're waking up and then leaving again, right? So they're the people I'm around every single day. So they're like my chosen family. They're my friends. They keep me grounded and they keep me connected to the customer, right? Your team is like your direct link to the customer, because I'm not the one checking in people. I'm not the one, you know, policing the playground. They are. Yeah. So we have this like constant back and forth. You know, you had asked me about leadership style. It's like the most important thing is like to be genuine. It's and that's hard to do, because in a leadership position, you kind of need to create a little bit of distance sometimes, just so you can be the person that can step back and see the bigger picture. If you get too caught up in it, you can get really emotional about it. And that's hard, because this is my baby, right? So a lot of the time I'm like, like, you know, I walk in and something's not done and I'm like, I'm so mad about it. But then I got to be like, okay, wait, what happened before I got here? You know, was there another thing? Was there a priority? Did they just do something else I already asked them to do and I forgot? Because I forget a lot, you know? So a lot of times it's just about being genuine with the team, because what I think a lot of leadership misses, you know, in like books about leadership or like these podcasts that are inspo podcasts, what a lot of people miss is that if you're trying to constantly push to be like that grind set alpha who's like invincible, when you need to be vulnerable, you can't. Because then when you're actually vulnerable, it comes off as disingenuous. Because they don't believe it. You spent this whole time building up this front of like nothing can affect me. I don't need anyone's help. And suddenly you're like, guys, I need help. And they're like, no, like what are you about? Like, what's going on? I thought you were this guy. And also it creates these barriers where they can't trust you and can't connect to you. So it could be as simple as like just not being real with them when you're tired, just not being real with them when you don't have an answer for something. So often my team comes to me and is like, what should we do? I'm like, I don't know. Let's just see how it goes. Let's just do it. And then you guys tell me if you think we need to change it. You know, if I can't say to them, I don't know, let's see how it goes, because I have to always have the master plan. Then they're afraid to say, here's my opinion, because I left no room for their opinion. I left no room for my opinion. I left no room for discovery. So a lot of it is like being real enough to be on the trip with them and trust in the fact that I hired them because I think they can do the job.
This industry is, or like this space, you can say that it's ever evolving, right? You can't just build this one day and then keep it for like next 5 years, because like new trends, big community expectations, where you are surrounded by what kind of people, all those expectations, how do you manage those expectations and how do you meet them?
I think a lot of it comes back to what we talked about earlier in a sort of our mission. What is our goal? It's because things are ever evolving, you have to distill it down to what is the reason for the evolution and what is the reason for the trend that is happening. Because trying to hop on trends, especially as someone who is, you know, my age, who's like, I'm coming up on, you know, almost 50 years old soon. And my clientele are 19 to 24. Me trying to hop on their trends, right? Like if I built a whole room around 6'7", by time I'm done painting it, the trend is done. Right? And at that point, I'm like, oh no, what if I dedicated a whole room to 6'7"? And they're like, not only did I miss the trend, but I look dumb for it. In fact, it'll push clients away by the time that thing happens. So I can't be a guy who's trying to hop on trends. But what I want to look at is, why did that trend happen? What's fun about that trend? What is engaging about that trend? Is it that it's just like, it's just brain rot and it's fun to be part of the brain rot? Or is it like AI sludge that like everybody's like, oh, okay, it's just a thing that's going around because there's a new filter on an app, right? So you got to figure, like, what is the emotional resonance to the trend? What is causing that resonance? And is there something inside what we do where we can say, hey, we have that sort of engagement here? Because it's too cumbersome when you have 34,000 square feet of space to adapt to things as they happen. Almost inevitably, by time we decide on funding, design, start building and execute, it's like 5 or 6 months turnaround to like turn this ship in another direction.
Yeah.
So we can't rely on that. But what we do look is, what is enduring? Go back to our mission. Like, what is enduring? Try not to get so involved in the trend that we get lost in the sauce and forget what we're doing and why we're doing it.
Okay.
If we were like suddenly like pickleball, that's what we're doing, then we would be one of 50,000 brand new pickleball spots.
Yeah.
And when everyone's done with pickleball, we're like, whoa, we really established our brand as pickleball.
Yeah.
Now we're done with everybody else, right? Now everybody else is like, yeah, we're onto this new thing, right? It's like, oh, cool, great. Now I got to change again. You just end up being third place or fourth place on everything, because the person that created that first trend is not the one that's going to reap the benefits. It's the person that follows.
Yeah.
But the person that follows the follower, they're so far behind. It's like they got there so late. It's not going to work. So for us, a lot of the time, it's like forward looking. We're like, what is the general trends, like post COVID? People wanted to be back out in spaces, doing activities, doing recreation, doing things. That was a great moment for us because we were like, hey, we're here.
Yeah.
We've always been here. We've been here for almost a decade. Like, come on back.
Yeah.
And people that were 15, 16 going into COVID came out and they were like 17, 18, and now they could come here. So we were able to kind of seize on those moments. But if we had spent all of COVID going, okay, people want to stay inside, they have to stay inside, and we changed everything for that, when that reopened, we would have missed the boat entirely.
Yeah.
So it's seductive and dangerous to try to constantly navigate trends. But if we can just figure out how it applies to our existing mission statement, then we're safer, right? We're able to kind of be a strong brand. I don't know if that answers your question specifically.
Absolutely,
but yeah, it kind of is. We try not to get into the trends too much because we're in a way kind of a retro space. We're like super analog.
Yeah.
Now that said, I think we talked about this in the leadership day. We are moving some of this space into esports. Not because it's a trend so much, but because I think for us, it introduces us to a whole new existing audience that we over years have realized that a lot of our base audience, that's what they do when they leave here, right? When they come here, they run around, maybe they're not super hardcore into a specific sport, but they like to be active. But then they leave here and they're like with their friends, they're like,
they're gaming.
Yeah, and they're like, like the whole crew hasn't been together in person in a bit. It took forever to get those cousins to be free this weekend. And then you show up and you're like, okay, now what? And you're like, well, let's go get some food. So they go get some food and then I'll be like, now what? And we're like, I don't know, let's go back to the dorm and like sit and play X for a bit or whatever. It's like, at that point, it's like, well, why don't we just feed them and then they can chill out here and they can be loud and they can have 12 people in the room. And like, the RA is not going to be like, hey guys, 4 people.
Another question was, lots of my listeners and viewers are young college students or people who just graduated or just getting into the industry too. So what advice would you give them, or were there any particular skill or mindset you had when you were back in college or just starting out as a new entrepreneur that helped you achieve your goals so far?
So like my personal model is do all the things. Although it feels like we don't have enough time to do things, we have a remarkable amount of time, right? We do. There's a remarkable amount of time not just like in every day. And I'm not saying that in like, hey, I got the same 12 hours as you to do stuff, and I get up at 5 a.m., run 20 miles. I don't do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't do any of that stuff, you know? I spend the same amount, if more, on the apps as everybody else, because that's like how I get my blood pressure down. But it's about the idea that you have time, especially when you're kicking off. It's so hard to go out there with a goal and just get connected to that first person that's going to give you your dream. It's just not going to happen, right? Access is so difficult. And we talked about networking.
Yeah.
Networking is just the fancy way of saying I'm meeting people and figuring out what they do and then logging that for later, right? You can't do that if you're stuck at a job that you don't like and you're making zero effort to show up, right? If you're like, I hate this job, I hate being here, it's a waste of my time, all I'm doing is X or Y, you're not going to network. One thing young people need to realize is that you can be learning on other people's time, meeting people on other people's dollar, getting paid to do that. And even if it doesn't seem likely, networking with customers, networking with the people you work with. And part of that networking is showing up for them so later they can talk about you favorably. That's a big thing, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people forget that like the person they're working with currently might be their hookup at the next spot. But if you're the guy that always shows up late and leaves half his work for that person to do it, they're not going to talk about you.
True.
You know, they're going to probably shut it down. If they're like, hey, so-and-so, your friend applied. I'm like, he's not my friend. I hate that guy.
We just met once.
That guy's terrible. I hate, if I see his name on the schedule, I ask to be moved. I don't want to work with him. They're like, oh, really? Why? Like, people want to know the tea on that stuff. So you got to make sure that people speak about you favorably. You got to do that. It also means that no job has to be permanent, right? It's hard to find a job, but that's almost why you should always be looking for a job, even when you have a job, is because like there's nothing worse than using the time that you have for something you've already determined you're not learning from.
Yeah.
Right? If you've determined I am not learning from this experience, there's a difference between quitting and realizing you're no longer learning anything. If I'm like, hey, I thought I would love this, and I get in there and I do not love this, I'm out of there.
Yeah.
Right? So like one of the reasons I've had so many careers is because I've had like almost every year of my life, I've had more than one job happening at the same time. Because I'm like, sometimes you just got to pay the bills. But at the same time, I'm like, that's not what I want to do. I've actually done this enough to know I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
So I immediately am looking for the next thing. And when that feels safe, I let go of that vine and swing onto this vine, and I keep doing that, right? And it's about like, I don't burn the bridges. I don't wait till like a Saturday night to quit when it's busy and be like, you're on your own. Because like you might be angry at the business, but now you have the whole team you just left in the muck, right? So, you know, you do it with integrity, you move with integrity, you move with determination and integrity, and you leave behind like a group of people who are like, man, I'm sad he's gonna go. Like this job sucked. He made it great. Yeah. You know, and that person moves on to their next job and they're like, hey, listen, we're hiring. Please apply. Yeah. So that's a big thing that I think young people or people starting their careers should be focused on is as soon as you determine you don't want to do this anymore, start finding the next thing. Don't spend any time longer than you have to at anything that is not serving you, because it's a disservice, right? And just realize that like the only way you become valuable is creating skill sets. So if you can't provide yourself value because you've like, yeah, I hate this, but I'm not learning anything, but I'm also not trying to learn anything, you're gonna get beaten by the other people that have learned that faster. You know, they've determined already, oh yeah, I'm not wasting any time here. Yeah.
What keeps you driven? What you wake up every morning? What are your thoughts? Like, what goes through your mind when you're in a difficult situation, and what keeps you going?
So this kind of goes back to what we were talking about before. Sometimes it's really hard, right? And it's important to recognize that it is really, really hard sometimes, especially when it's the weight of newness, but it's newness that you've asked for. You're like, give me the responsibility, put me in, coach, and then you drop the ball. Yeah. And you're like, no, put me in, coach. And then you drop the ball and the coach keeps going, here's the ball, and you keep whiffing it. It's really tough because there is a sense of shame and a sense of embarrassment about asking for things and then missing, right? And you know, and that can be really difficult, I think, for everybody. And this might sound kind of Hallmark. You have the choice of not getting out of bed. Again, no one cares, right? You have the choice to be like, I'm just not going to get up today. And sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
Sometimes my being driven is like, I lay in bed and just like doom scroll for hours until someone's like, yo, where are you? I'm like, okay, I'm on my way. I'm not even, my feet haven't even hit the ground yet. I'm not on my way at all.
Yeah.
You know, I'm in the shower, just like head down, hot water, just like, come on, next step, man, grab the towel, get out of the shower. You know, there are days where like it absolutely doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And it's okay. That's one day of 365. That's one day of 1200. That's fine. I don't want that ratio to slip where it's more days than not.
Yeah.
You know, if it's more days than not, it means I'm not in the right world. I'm wasting my time doing the wrong thing because I'm either so bad at it I shouldn't be doing it, or the environment's so bad I shouldn't be doing it. One or the other. What keeps me going is knowing that so far, the historical record of data shows I can do it. So today sucked, yesterday sucked, but the day before that didn't suck. And that day was worth it. Or, you know, today was hard, tomorrow's gonna be hard. The next 509,000 days are gonna be hard. But I chose to be here. I wouldn't choose to be anywhere else. And I have the privilege, what oftentimes gets me here every day is that I have the privilege of deciding who's going to be here with me. That's some real power in my life, right? When you get to a place where you get to decide who's around you, that's an achievement. Because like, we're not always going to have good days, but I get to decide who I'm in the trenches with. And I trust them and I love them and I know they feel the same way about me. And like, that's really like what you can hope for. Because then when it's the day to celebrate, they're already there.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have to leave work to go hang out with my friends.
True.
And on a day where like we've had an amazing day and we've had good groups, like that Humber Day was a great day. You know, when everyone left, our team was like, yeah, that was awesome. Yeah. Like when Dre got up and talked about me, I didn't expect that. And afterwards, he and I had like a real talk about it. Like we sat down and chopped it up and I was like, dude, that was like, thank you. Like, thank you so much. And he was like, no, I got you. Like, I got you. Like he gets awesome. Choked up too, right? And so like it's so nice when in a moment, when the moment changes and it goes from bad to great, like we're already here celebrating. Yeah. And we're like genuinely excited for each other. Like some of my team, they're moving on to new things. Actually, Dre is a great example. Dre just got a job that he's really wanted for a long time. Amazing. It's gonna suck not having him here, but at the same time, like the whole team's excited for him, right? Yeah. So like we all get to celebrate wins together. And like that's what keeps me going more than anything else, is that I get to go home and I like my partner is incredible and she's supportive, and like the bad days, she's there for me. The great days, she's there for me. Yeah. You know? That's what I love, is like finding those like little moments where we can all look at each other and be like, okay, yeah, this is pretty good. Like, this is pretty good. If I didn't have to worry about money, I didn't have to worry about the bills, if I like suddenly won the lottery, I'd still come to work. I'd still show up. I probably would wear better shoes. I maybe have a nice watch, but I would show up to work. I wouldn't just be like, oh, I'm out. Yeah. You would never find me on a beach doing nothing. I can't even be on a beach for like an hour. I go crazy. I go stir crazy. So if I had $1 billion, I'd have 1 million new businesses, you know? So it'd just be one of those things where like, yeah, if you kind of would still show up to something free for no other reason is that you want to be there, then I feel like in your own way, you've hit you're successful. So like, yeah, I feel like for me, what keeps me going is knowing there are more of those good days than bad, but even in the bad days, I'm surrounded by the people I want to be with. That's huge.
Perfect. Well, Thank you so much, Will. It was amazing talking to you.
Yeah, anytime.
And all the viewers, especially if you come to Etobicoke, come to Pursuit OCR. It's a really amazing place. Don't just go with my word, but just take a look on the internet. You'll see.
Yeah, come check us out. Come through anytime. If you see me, say hi. If you have questions for me, get in touch. See, it's got my contact. So if you have any questions as well, you want to chop it up about something that you're curious about, I'm always here for the community. Like it's how we connect to people. So that's super important. But thank you for your time.
No worries. Thank you for your time, and I will see you in the next video.
Take care.